So bam, guess what? The new update is now live. That is the new operation. And yes, the new lethal difficulty. Go get it. Update your game right now. And with it comes a ton of patch notes. Yes, a lot of changes to go over together in this video. We're going to dive into that. Guess what? Right now. So we're going to start out from the very beginning. Let's do this. All right. So yes, this is patch 4. And we got some new features. Of course, that new operation. Let me know what you guys think of it, by the way. And then the new lethal difficulty. Here's the major highlights of that new difficulty. So ammo crates have limited refills per player. Majora's enemies can become enraged and will be more deadly and harder to kill. Now, armor restores from finishers only if you stay close to your battle brothers. It's going to be critical to stick together. And overcoming such a challenge will also grant you new cosmetics, which I think is one of the biggest highlights of this new difficulty, is how they're tying actual rewards into kind of like completing it. So I think that is really, really cool. Now, also, we have this right here. Added photo mode in operations, works only in solo. Also, characters can now follow the camera with their eyes. So that's a nice little touch there. A lot of you guys requested photo mode in operations, but it is only, of course, in solo with other bots. And for gameplay and bouncing tweaks, it says this melee archetypes fencing weapons perfect parry window will now have the same duration as balanced weapons, but it will start from the first frame of parry animation. Melee perks, chainsword, power fist, combat knife, charged attacks. Perks get significant damage increase. Nice, so that is a buff right there. Basic aspects scan. Bonus damage on bosses is reduced by 30%. Melt charge, damage to bosses is reduced by 70%. Whoa. And it says this enemy spawn director PvE. I'm curious, by the way, how you guys feel about those changes to the aspect scan and melt charge. Let me know in the comments down below. Anyway, enemy spawn director PvE. It says tweak idle spawns. Enemy variety within waves is now less random, while enemy variety between waves is bigger. Now, extremist enemies can now spawn have additional enemies as well. So that's awesome to hear. For difficulty, with Ruthless, ammo crates have limited refills per player. Ruthless also says players' armor reduced by 20% and substantial players' armor reduced by 10%. So overall, seems like they've kind of adjusted the difficulty and perhaps made it a little bit more challenging there. Curious to see how it is received by the community, because I know a lot of people felt like it was a bit of a bummer that they essentially nerfed the difficulty. Some people felt that way, but yeah, we'll see if this is a nice middle ground. Also, we have this right here, note from the depths. With patch 3, we have noticed that operations mode became noticeably easier, especially chaos operations. We are happier with what we have right now compared to what we had on release, because before patch 3, chaos missions were unpopular. Still, we think that current operations mode is a bit too easy. Overall, these changes are going to make operations mode harder, but it is difficult to measure by how much. Oh, this is going to be interesting. We will continue to monitor those changes and we'll continue to adjust the balance of operations mode. This is not the last change. So they're going to be tweaking it based on your guys' experience, your feedback. And, you know, I think the completion rate of operations per difficulty, that is something they absolutely look at, of course. But let's keep scrolling and see what else has changed. All right, so PvP, increased delay between announcer messages in PvP. The starting animation of the grapnel launcher for the Vanguard is shorter in PvP as well. They also fixed Power Fist in PvP dealing too much damage with short charged attacks. So yeah, some PvP stuff there. Now for AI, enemy dodges globally replace full invulnerability on dodge moves of enemies with heavy melee damage resistance. And Rubric Marine with bolt gun disengage teleport max distance is slightly reduced as well. So I think that should limit frustration there. What about customization? Let's talk about it. More options for colors. Customization for chaos. Territory colors, it says Sotek green, Night Lord's blue, Death Guard green, Horn red. Yes, that sounds freaking awesome. Decal colors, Sotek green, Horn red, and then we got colors added. Liberator gold color to default for primary and secondary color palettes, and fix a lot of issues with display of colors. Now they should be more lore accurate. Mechanicus standard gray, Yoshiwiti bone, Venecon purple, the Fang Iron Hand steel, and Retributor armor. So a lot of adjustments there. So I'm kind of curious to see if that messes up your current color combo, because that is something that has happened, but they really are about lore accuracy to Warhammer, which honestly I do respect, of course. Now, it says decals, added new Chaos faction decals for the right shoulder as well. Let's talk about levels. So Vox Liberatus It says Daemon Host disabled respawn until the last altar in the final arena. So there's some changes there. Then they have some general bug fixes. It says fix a bug where the assault perk Ascension could kill its owner. Yikes. Fix a bug where the sniper perk targeted shot wasn't always working in some cases. They also fixed an unlimited animation cancel with the bulwark by using the block, which resulted in faster attacks. They addressed an issue with tactical team perk close targeting not triggering properly, and they fixed tactical perk radiating impact not triggering properly as well. They addressed an issue with sniper perk guardian protocol cooldown not working, and then also addressed an issue with sound that was lost after switching the speaker configuration, and several issues in trials. And of course, there were some issues that were causing loss of save. So that is something that I have heard. So hopefully that is completely fixed. Now, the Thunderhammer perk Patience Rewarded description is now accurate with its actual effect added when your health is below 30% part. Lots of minor UI fixes and improvements throughout, and lots of minor animation fixes and improvements, and some localization fixes as well. Now, let's talk about tech. They did some crash fixes and general stability improvements, fixed several connectivity issues causing disconnects for players. Finally, they're talking about it. Yes, a lot of you guys have been wanting to hear something about this in a patch, and finally it's here. Let's cross my fingers. This is like really meaningful as a fix. Now, slightly improved performance as well. Fix issues with controllers not working with Steam input enabled. And then render improvements, general improvements, and fixes. And that is it for the patch notes. So overall, seems like some, well, I guess you would say interesting changes here. It's going to be up to you guys to see how you receive it, especially with those adjustments to the difficulty. Boy, oh boy, they definitely did make some interesting changes there throughout a lot of those difficulties. So I'm curious. I know they're trying to find that middle ground, but I think overall the community might be happy with those changes, considering a lot of you guys are like, hey, this just feels like such a pushover. What is the deal? And yeah, we got to go over your top comments. So let's do this. Remember, leave a comment down below. It could end up right here in a future video. And if you are new to the channel, don't forget to smack that subscribe button. So here we go. Let's check it out. So we have this one. I know people have their complaints, but ultimately we should support this game as best as we can and prolong its development life cycle for as long as possible to maximize our chances of getting what we want, y'all. So I totally agree on this one. I want this game to last for years and years. I'm talking about like 5 years, maybe even longer. We've seen games that can actually pull that off, of course, but yes, I totally agree. And you know, the foundation is here. They also have an amazing graphics engine as well. Also with the swarm technology, I just feel like they could just keep building upon this, just give us tons of operations, and also, yes, keep like giving us things like the horde mode. Next up, we have this. I think all classes should be allowed to use all pistols for operations, but that is as far as I would go. 154 upvotes, so it seems like a lot of you guys are wanting that to be an actual change for sure. And then we have this one. I hope future updates include the power axe as a usable weapon in the Imperium's arsenal. Yeah, you know what the dev team has said officially about melee weapons is that it's something that is definitely on their radar. They haven't 100% confirmed that we would be getting brand new melee weapons, but trust me, I think that they are very interested in that for sure. But what we do know is that, yeah, beyond even the pistol that we are getting, is that we will be getting even more new weapons down the road. Are they going to be melee weapons? We'll have to see. Also, we have this one. Deathwing and Ravenwing aren't separate successor chapters. They're different companies within the Dark Angel's first founding chapter, just like the Sanguinaries and Death Company in Blood Angels. Hey, the more you know. Someone knows their lore. It says, who cares about hooded helmets if we can't change the color? Damn, I know. Yeah, I get where you're coming from. I still think it's going to be cool to mess around with, especially on the tactical, because it's something that I've always wanted to do personally. I just love the look of the, you know, that hood look. So we'll see if I like it in the long term, but 100% agree that they do need to add that option to change the color of the hoods and stuff. Now, we also have this. Has anyone noticed if you wear the Death Watch shoulder pad, it's lore accurate size and is too small for the Primaris shoulder? When the cutout for the arm is filled in, it's essentially mounted on a bigger pad. Interesting. And this one here, it says mods in PvP is cheating, but in PvE and single player, it's a gray area. Yeah, it is definitely tough on that one. I still think that in some ways, if you're making that difficulty too easy because you like have a whole arsenal at your disposal and you're making unbalanced, yeah, that is definitely an issue in PvE, at least in my opinion. But anyway, thank you all so much for the comments. Stay tuned here for more news and updates. I have you guys covered And yeah, I got to go hop on and try this brand new operation. But thank you all, and I will see you all next time. Take care.